The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us so much, a wealth of knowledge. And it's crazy to see that everything he said over the past decades is now manifesting. Back in the day when the minister said something shocking or, hard for people to believe, we would try to defend it, show it in scripture. Nowadays, just turn on the news, turn on the latest podcast. Everyone is now verifying what he said. And the minister just celebrated his 92nd birthday. 92, with 70 of those years actively working to liberate Black and oppressed people around the world. That's thousands of lectures, millions of words. So we're going to try our best to pull as much as we can, create subjects, talk about it, because everything the minister talked about is the key to success in your life. Everything he said, whether it's relationships, your mental health, your physical health, financial status, whatever it is that you want to improve, his words is the key to improvement. So in this show, we're going to do our best to parse, study, look into, discuss the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who in our opinion is the only person actually verified. There is a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, but again, here, I don't have time to give my opinion. I don't have time to discuss other people's thoughts and opinions. I can care less. The only person I'm focused on is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his words, his perspective, his guidance. I do want to bring up something that everyone's talking about and offer a perspective that I recently heard in a lecture from the minister. This trial of Sean Puffy Combs, the sex trafficking trial, everyone's talking about it. Everyone has their ideas, their conclusions. I'm not going to give mine. I did work with him as his personal assistant over a decade ago, so I have some insight, but that's not what I'm here to do at this time. This time is to address something that the minister said in not only exactly this situation, but in familiar and also similar situations. I'm going to start with a verse from the Holy Quran. I'm going to go to my Brother Smart. If you don't know, you can use Brother Smart by subscribing to NFA Studios. A little quick commercial. Let's ask Brother Smart.
Greetings, how may I be of service?
Hey, Brother Smart, what is the surah in the Holy Quran that talks about verifying news when an unrighteous person brings it to you and looking into it carefully? What surah and verse is that?
The verse you are referring to is in Surah Al-Hujurat, which is Surah 49, verse 6. It advises us to verify news when an unrighteous person brings it to us, to avoid harming people out of ignorance. This guidance is crucial for maintaining justice and truthfulness in our actions.
Thank you, Brother Smart. Thank you. It is crucial, providing justice. So when an unrighteous person brings you news, and as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught us, nobody's righteous. So when anybody brings you news, look carefully into it. Whether or not someone is guilty, that is going to come out. You can, at the end of it, after getting all the facts. It's another thing we learned from the minister. Get all the facts before you place judgment. And I'm going to go into why in a moment with the minister's words. But with this particular case, keep a balance. With women, we have to protect women. They are hunted, raped, abused, trafficked. So when a woman brings an accusation, you have to take it serious. And that's the balance. You have to take it serious. But look carefully into it and don't make judgments before all the facts come out. Those are words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Not a quote, but I'm going to go into this lecture. Another commercial from Brother Smart. Now, remember, this is a beta. We will be rolling this out to be able to do such things, but I'm going to be using it to show you the capabilities it has, the type of knowledge base it has, and you'll see where we're going with it in the future.
Greetings, how may I be of service?
Brother Smart, I want to talk to my audience about words the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said about the media and how they use accusations to bring down Black entertainers, Black leaders. What is the best lecture in your database to discuss that topic?
An excellent lecture to discuss the topic of how the media uses accusations to bring down Black entertainers and leaders is The Crucifixion of Michael Jackson and All Responsible Black Leadership by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In this lecture, he delves into the methods used by the media to demagnetize and crucify influential Black figures, drawing parallels to historical and contemporary examples.
Thank you, Brother Smart. He can go on and on, so I got to cut him. But this particular topic isn't just about Sean Combs. It's him today. Who is it going to be tomorrow? Whether or not he's guilty, I'm not even here to discuss. I'm here to talk about being careful about being used as a tool to bring down Black leaders, Black entertainers, before all the facts come out. If you already place judgment, then you are already fell victim to how Satan, how the media, how they go about it to bring down Black people before the facts even come out. Once the facts come out, do what you wish. And remember what someone is being charged about. Because if they're being charged for one thing, but in the media, they're putting them down for another, those are two different things. So this is more about us being careful for how we are used by the media and to stay the right course, because it's bigger than Sean Combs as far as this overall scheme that they use. Right now, brother is going through his trial, and that's between him and God, and he's going to have to face whatever God decides. But this isn't the last. So this is more about this isn't the last. And for us to be careful when the next person is accused, not to jump to judgment, to wait and to understand all the facts before we place judgment. So this lecture, I recommend everyone, let me pull it up, everyone to watch it. The lecture Brother Smart just recommended, The Crucifixion of Michael Jackson and All Responsible Black Leadership. Now, this lecture...
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Go ahead, Mr. Ishmael. This lecture was taking place July 26, 2009. And I'm going to play the minister's words.
J. Edgar Hoover's counterintelligence program was to prevent the coalition of Black nationalist groups. They invested money into keeping nationalist groups separated from each other, and even plotted to get us to kill one another. Number two, the aim was to prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant Black nationalist movement, and to prevent violence on the part of Black nationalist groups. Not violence among each other, but violence against them. Listen, their aim was to prevent militant Black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to three separate segments of the community. 5, to prevent the long-range growth of these organizations, especially among young people. Now here's the tactics that they used. there was no black organization that was not infiltrated by agents and informers of the U.S. government to discredit and disrupt. They used dirty tricks, including the planting of false media stories, bogus leaflets, fake publications. They forged correspondence, sent anonymous letters, and made anonymous phone calls. They manipulated or strong-armed parents, employers, landlords, school officials, and others to cause trouble for the activists. And they used law. They conducted break-ins, vandalism, assaults, and beatings. The object was to frighten dissidents and disrupt their movement. Now, let's look at this thing called crucifixion and see how it's carried out. You know, crucifixion was used by the Persians, the Greeks, the Carthaginians, the Macedonians, and the Romans. It was reserved for slaves, rebels, pirates, and especially despised enemies and criminals. Crucifixion was considered a most shameful and disgraceful way to die. They would take the person, strip him of his clothes, make him carry his cross to the place of crucifixion, but it's all public. Everything is done in the public to bring about your shame, your disgrace. Follow me now. Strip you of your clothing, then they nail your hands and your feet. None of your vital organs are touched, so that you can hang there for hours and for days. Defecate on yourself, urinate on yourself, and some they would spear in the side. But Jesus, they had something special for him, according to the book. Since he was supposed to be the king of the Jews, they made a crown of thorns for him. Put it on his head. I'm coming to you in a minute. They nailed his hands, they nailed his feet, they pierced him in his side, and they let him hang there. People spat on him. Boy, this is some deep stuff. They leave you in the public, and passers-by would throw things at the crucified one. Because once you're crucified, it's like you deserve that punishment. So the people are not asking for you to come down. They are happy to see you on that cross. Now, look at the role that the media has played in the deliberate crucifixion of black leaders. I'm going to name a few, and then I want you to see how crucifixion is done. Then I'm coming to Michael. Sammy Davis, Mahalia Jackson, Dick Gregory, Eartha Kitt, Nina Simone, of course, Burt Lancaster, Frank Sinatra, Harry Belafonte, Tony Bennett, Bill Cosby, Diane Carroll, Count Basie, Sidney Poitier, and many others. These were black people and white people who wanted to see black people free. These black people donated their money to movements. And these were some of the strong supporters of Martin Luther King, and we'll get to his crucifixion in just a minute. Now, the prophecy says that any one of us who could connect us to the outside world was deemed a major threat. Garvey, Du Bois, Malcolm, Martin, Elijah Muhammad. Now, do you think that Marcus Garvey was a small-time leader who didn't think about preparing future leaders? Do you think Martin King was like that? These were intelligent black men who knew their mortality, and they knew that if movement was going to continue, they would have to prepare a new cadre of leadership. So here's how crucifixion goes. They nail your hands, they nail your feet. They strip you of your followers by propaganda. They break your legs so that after you are dead, there's no support for your ideas. It's not the man as much as it is the ideas of that man, so they must not only kill the man, they have to kill his idea so that a generation won't come up after him fueled by his ideas. Are you with me? There's Malcolm. There's Martin. There's Kwame Ture. Stokely Carmichael, his former name. Is the Panther Party. Now they even started spying on the NAACP because they couldn't trust that among the NAACP leadership somebody wouldn't come up with ideas that whites who pay money to it would not be have an objection to. So they watched all black organizations. Now, who is the they? Who is the they? Now, some of you like to refer to me as anti-Semitic. I hate that you would say that in the face of many of those who call me anti-Semitic. They're very definitely anti-black. Now, there are certain members of the Zionist faction of Jews that have always wanted to control the means by which your crucifixion could take place. You notice how everyone that got crucified got first crucified in the media. The media is used to demagnetize the person who has attracted large crowds. So to demagnetize you means to make you now unattractive to the people that once were attracted to you. I'm sorry, I have to tell it. There were members of the Jewish community that helped to start the NAACP, but they were watchmen over how that organization developed to keep it in a certain line. This is anti-black. As long as Martin Luther King was talking about black and white together and forgiveness and all of that, he was the darling of the civil rights movement. Malcolm, on the other hand, was like the real radical, and Martin Luther King loved, Malcolm hated. Malcolm was supposed to be the biggest anti-Semite of his day. You didn't hear me. Well, let me say it again. Now, as Martin started changing, see, that's what you have to understand about all of you who lead. As long as you don't change in your relationship to the powers, you can continue. But the moment they see change in you, then they have to destroy you so that you will never be a strong leader for your people. When Martin Luther King began speaking against the war, that's when all hell broke loose. The black preachers turned on Martin King. They say, "You're making it hard for us, Martin, because your social gospel is interfering with us and our relationship with our former slave masters and their children." So they turned on Martin. The FBI called Martin Luther King a notorious liar. They started monitoring his hotel rooms, his offices, and they sent tapes to his wife of some affairs that he had, as though an affair will make a man less than a warrior for God and the liberation of the people. When they saw in February of 1968 Martin Luther King Jr. sitting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they saw the two men from Georgia meeting the greatest orator of our time and the most brilliant prophetic voice of our time. One of these had to die. To kill Elijah would have meant revolution. But when they killed Martin, revolution broke out in 100 cities in America.
I recommend for everyone in your spare time, go to NFAstudios.com, watch this lecture, The Crucifixion of Michael Jackson and All Responsible Black Leadership, because it's a guide for the future. It's a look inside the enemy's playbook, which is why when a black man, especially of influence, a leader, of power is accused by anything in the media, the woman who's doing the accusations always take that serious, but don't make judgments. But when the media gets involved, this is out of their playbook. And they're going to try at some point to do black leaders who are actually innocent of everything they're saying. And we have to be prepared to look, as the Quran said, Surah 49, verse 6, look carefully into it. Don't make judgments. Another chapter to look into is Aisha, slanderer. Just examples of how in the past, slander and gossip have led to negative effects. So whether it's true or not is determined to be a fact or not, whether it's true. But please watch this lecture. The minister was masterful. So thank you all. That's verified for today, but we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to be doing this quite a bit. If there's a lecture you want to see, is there a lecture you want to discuss? I mean, that has to do with what's going on in the world. That has to do with making us better people. Let's talk about it. I'm Michael Amir, and I will see you all next time.